You a fool, man. And the people supporting you, they riding right along with your dumb ass. Cause I'm gonna tell you something. If you a gangster in Fort Worth, Texas, and you with old Charlie, you got it up. You can't sit in the same room with the DEA, homie. We talk about around each other that we don't need to be broadcasting. There's a lot of shit set off these cameras. We don't want to, we all know. We ain't crazy. But Charleston, man, bro. Then you got big and popular. What have you done for Fort Worth? Have you helped anybody? You got rich and you say that I've seen the video where you say Fort Worth kids. You doing that for content, right? Evidently, but you hurting us, man. We put you on the map. I ain't gonna say we, cause I had nothing to do with that shit.
You are now tuned into the Bob Report. Red Dawg.
What it do, family?
We're back on the Bob Report, man. You got your different type of clothes on today. You're shining bright.
Right on. Before we get started, I'd like to give a shout out to 88 Dawg, my son. Let's get started. I need him out here getting this music. And the rest of my children, Zay, and on down the line. I love all y'all. Today I would like to talk about a few things that's kind of important to me. And I need y'all to know what's important to me. First and foremost, before we get too far into this video, I'd like to say, may God bless America and each and every one of us. We know we're at war right now, and that's very important. And I pray to God that all of our come home safely to their families. And with that being said, I want to get into some street.
Let's go.
I want to talk first and foremost about OGs. See, a lot of people don't understand, and especially in this day and time, these youngsters don't even have a respect for an OG. But I want to explain to you youngsters something, and this is just how it is. Like when you build a house, you have to have a great foundation to put a beautiful house on. And in my life, the OG is the foundation. See, if you build a house on a weak ground, your house is going to come tumbling down. See, you have to have strong foundation, and that's where OGs come in. And I'm talking to all the youngsters right now. Like, you have to have respect for the man before you that paved the way, the man that actually made it right. Yeah, I'm an older person, and I fight hard for my respect. I've been that way my whole life. And I just want you to understand that there's somebody out here that you can talk to, someone out here that you can actually lean on. And I'm not just talking to the red side. I'm talking to the blue side, the brown side, the white side, any side. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to everybody that can hear my voice. My ideal with this internet, and I'm just gonna shoot right on into this, is I love Fort Worth, Texas. I love each and every one of y'all in Fort Worth, Texas. And I want to take us to another level. Where I'm at right now is I really, really, really want to unite my city. I came in here flamed up because that's me. I love my respect, but I respect everybody. So no matter how you come at me, I want to be able to relate to you. I want to be able to help you any way I can. I want to be able to bring you to a place that's better in your life. You understand? If there's anybody out there that needs me or needs any help or needs just wants to talk, especially my youngsters, I'm down. I'm 100% with you. And I'm willing to listen, man. You know how to hit me. I'm on OG Red Dawg on Instagram and OG Red Dawg on Facebook. And like I said, we in Fort Worth, we're very powerful. Fort Worth is a very powerful city. And if we would come together and really come together, man, we would be untouchable. Y'all know this. We've had a lot of things happen over the years that we ain't proud of. That's again because the foundation was weak. If you would take time to really hear me and understand where I'm coming from, this city, man, we can soar with the eagles. I promise you. I'm down to and we got some things coming. We got some things coming. We're gonna introduce to the city. I just want you to know that I'm 100% with my city. I'm from Eastwood, but I live in Fort Worth, Texas, and everybody in Fort Worth, Texas, I love you. And on the outsides too. Don't get it twisted. I love all shades of people. I don't care if you pop out green. I'm gonna with you as long as you with me. I've been doing a lot of videos lately, and there's been a lot of things on my chest, especially the OG situation, because all these youngsters like to call the old man Unc. I'm not your uncle. I'm not your Unc. But I'm cool with that. But I'm not. That's not who I want to be around you. I want to be somebody you can understand, depend on, and relate to. Someone that can give you some game and take you to the next level. You understand where I'm coming from? I also want to hit on a few other things that's been on my mind. One, like I said, about uniting this city. I believe we can go far, y'all. I do believe that we can go a long ways. You know what I'm saying? If we come together as a team. And when you wait till you see the shirts I'm designing, like we finna bring something out for you. We finna make some real things happen. You know, we've had people in this city that's came out of this city that really ain't worried about nothing but coming up. You know, I want to worry about you. I want to worry about us. I want to worry about our children. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to saving any youngster that I can save, because it's very important to me at this point in my life. And when I'm coming up in the little internet world, I'm bringing Fort Worth with me, and I mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Everybody, even if I had beef with you in the past, man, we over that, bro. I'm 50. I'm not out here gangbanging. I'm looking, you know, I do me, but I ain't doing no set tripping. I ain't doing no tripping in no kind of way. You know what I'm saying? I definitely gonna support my people in righteous unity. I'm 100% with us. But at the same time, I also want to support each and everybody that needs me right now, or that may need me. You know what I'm saying? I've had a lot of young white gangsters reach out to me. And you know, I had no idea there was so many white gangsters out there. And don't get me wrong, I'm just saying in this lifestyle. And I found out that it's quite a few. It's quite a few of you out there. And you know, homie, I know it's hard on you. I know for sure it's hard on you. If your heart is pure like my heart is pure, and your love is genuine, and you love the people that may not be your skin tone, it's hard. And then it's hard to have people accept you for what you're doing, because again, it's hard for the white boy because so many people are against you already. So I know you fighting a strong battle, and I got your back, homie. And I respect you. I respect you because, listen, man, it took a long time for me to get here. It took me going against everybody, going against my own race, going against everybody, bro, to get here. And I still ain't where I need to be. Every day I wake up fighting for my respect. And I wish that I didn't have to do it like that, but I'm trained like that. I'm like a soldier now. Like I have to have my respect. And I understand what you're going through.
Red Dawg, you have 16 children now.
That's correct.
Congratulations, you just had a new one a couple weeks ago, right?
Bailey, brand new baby girl, Bailey.
Happy to the world, Miss Bailey. Is she of mixed race?
Right. Yes, definitely. I've never had a white woman.
I was gonna ask you, Red Dawg, with you being a white male, and I know you know how you grew up, but why you never had a white woman? How is it even possible?
You know, situation if I'm truthful to the point, there just wasn't no white woman there. You know what I mean? When we grew up in the hood where I grew up, it was all predominantly black neighborhood. Like, and I just never had a white woman. I never had the opportunity. Like, they wasn't in my area. Plus, it just wasn't something that I was really attracted to. It's a hard thing to believe, but you know, I like women with curves.
Right.
Let's put it like that. Also, I love the smell of spritz.
Spritz, the women put on their hair, the black women. Like,
Oh yeah, I love that smell. It's just something about that smell that makes me crazy.
the smell
No,
of
but
spritz.
realistically, now I love black women. Period. From everything about them, everything about them.
Have you ever been with a Latino woman?
No, sir. Again, I've never been outside the black race.
Just only black women.
Only black women. I've never had a white woman to this day. And I want to say this to white women: if you're interested, shoot at me, holler at me. I never run now. I told you in the last video I got a little bit more room in the stable. So you know,
When you say that, like speaking on that, you have 16 children already.
yes,
You
yes, and I have two women that live with me.
okay, and you want more children.
Well, I look at it like this: if you can afford them, you know what I'm saying. That's what keeps me. If you just really want to break it down, bro, I'm gonna just be all the way real with you. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's what keeps me free. That's what keeps me motivated in life. Is the children. See, when I had Dawg, it changed my life. It touched my soul that day. And then I just seem to have children every time I do anything. It's another child, but at the end of the day, I take care of them all. All of my children are taken care of.
You were incarcerated for a total of 10 years, correct?
Right, I built up a lot in them 10 years, so I started popping them when I got out.
If you hadn't went to prison, how many children do you think you would have?
Oh, I'm
Red
looking
Dawg?
at 30, 35. Again, this is how I look at it. I don't have, what do you call what is that?
What?
Food stamps. I don't
Okay.
get food stamps. I don't have no government help. Everything I get out the mud. The way I've been, the way I've always been, I get mine out the mud. And I take care of all my kids. And I'm not gonna sit out here and just act like we got the best and finest things in life, but we're making it. I promise you that. Everybody's proud and we got our head held high. You know what I mean? Daddy's 100% in their life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm there every day, all day. I take them to school. I feed them. I get them clothes. Everything comes from daddy. I don't have no mama help. Now, don't get me wrong. My baby mamas, they watch the kids or they bring them home and feel like they done something major when they keep them the weekend. But nah, they with me. That's the only way I'm going to have it. You know what I'm saying? As soon as I came out the penitentiary with Dub and Zay, I wasn't home 2 days. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a place to go. I was living with my people. I packed them under my arm and went and got me a motel. And I've been grinding every day for them. Since then, I've been grinding. That's what I do. I take care of mine, all of mine. I don't leave none of them behind.
Before when you got out, you only had Zay and Dub.
Now, when I got out the penitentiary, I had Isaiah, I had Elijah, which is Dub, and I had Michaela. I had three. And I went to work. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, you went straight to work.
you know, the thing is, bro, I got out of prison 4/10/2000. That was my release date. My TDC number was 699456. Way back. One of them short numbers, you hear me? And then 4/11/2001, Elijah was born, Dub, right into my arms. And that took me away from the streets. You know, back then I was a demon. I was out there proving everything I thought I had to prove and doing all the things I shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? Nothing I'm proud of. I had to do what I had to do to survive. But as time goes on, if you're my age and you still gang banging, it's something wrong with you, bro. Like, don't get me wrong, you got to have love for what you was a part of. I promise you, my love is true. And if it come down to it, then we had to, I mean, I can still go down that road. I just choose not to. You understand? I don't want to provoke my anger in no type of way to be disrespectful to nobody because my spirit is humble. I'm very thankful and blessed. I've had, like I said again, I want to unite my city. I want Crips and Bloods to be where we can walk together. Because I'm gonna tell you, man, and I know a lot of situations and circumstances, it's gonna be a hard battle because some things can't be forgiven and forgotten. But I can say this: We've lost a lot, man, and we can be one powerful city. You know, we got people that's before me on this internet that I really would think that would really want to try to change this city, and they haven't they just don't really care about the people. I care about the people because I know how it feels to be the only one. I know how it feels to be the oddball, the one that was left out. You understand?
So
And
you feel like it's people that have been on the internet before you that
Right.
have probably dropped the ball.
Charleston White.
Oh, Charleston.
Yeah. Hello. Who? Oh, Charleston. You know, I would like to say that he gave up on us for a word, and y'all know it. And when you support him, you're really looking like a fool. I'm totally 100% from now and forever against Charleston White. He's a clown. He makes our city look bad. We come from gangsters. Let me explain to all y'all from outside of this city. Ain't nobody in this city no hoe like that. Ain't nobody in this city no snitch. We don't promote snitching. We don't promote that in Fort Worth, Texas. Some gangsters right here. There's a lot of gangsters right here on every side, every shade of color. There's some in these streets. The problem is we just decided that once we got out the penitentiary after doing all them years, we decided that we didn't want to, we can't focus on going back to prison if you're trying to stay free for your children or your family or whatever your situation may be. Mine is my family. My kids need me. I would love to do a lot of things, but I don't nobody want to go back to prison. Understand where I'm coming from? Charleston is a woman, that one-eyed, frog-faced, lizard-looking ass. I'm talking to you, Charlie. You. And everything you stand for, you fake ass bitch.
Yeah, you really don't like old Charleston, do you?
Man, I can't stand his ugly ass, man. I promise you, that's one that I can't stand. And it's sad that we let him get away with so much. How can you sit in front of your people in Confederate flags, making jokes and shit? How can you talk down about the black women? You a fool, man. And the people supporting you, they riding right along with your dumb ass. Cause I'm gonna tell you something. If you a gangster in Fort Worth, Texas, and you with old Charlie, you got it up. You can't sit in the same room with the DEA, homie. We talk about around each other that we don't need to be broadcasting. There's a lot of shit set off these cameras. We don't want to, we all know. We ain't crazy. But Charleston, man, bro. Then you got big and popular. What have you done for Fort Worth? Have you helped anybody? You got rich and you say that I've seen the video where you say Fort Worth kids. You doing that for content, right? Evidently. But you hurting us, man. We put you on the map. I ain't gonna say we because I had nothing to do with that shit.
Brother Red Dawg, how do you feel about white people saying the N-word? I mean, like in a formidable fashion, and like
Right. No, I totally understand
cool.
where you're coming from. It's not acceptable. You're not that cool. I don't feel like there's any white man, white woman that has that right. You can't be that cool. You hear me? You're not that. That's just not, zero tolerance on it. You say it around me, I'm liable to slap the out your ass. I'm very respectful like that. I don't play like that. I try not to be in trouble, and I don't want to sit behind this camera and act tough to y'all, because that's not what I'm trying to do. But just for a white man or a white woman to say that, it's very disrespectful toward the whole black race. It may not be disrespectful beside you and your fly ass friend that's letting you get away with it, but his grandpa, he ain't gonna play with that like that. And it's a respect thing. Always remember something. You don't have to say things like that to be accepted. You don't have to have that word in your existence. That is a very sensitive word only for black folks. That's not a Mexican word. That's not a white word, a Jap word, a Asian. That's nothing but a black man's word. And if and you know what, it's all with the mixed crowd. They say it all the time too, because you know they're black and white, so they got that half where they get away with it. And but honestly, pure white skin, pale skin, it's zero tolerance. Don't do it, man. We don't respect if you really have love for the black community the way that you say you do, then respect them. And I don't care who you are. Old boy in Dallas, disrespecting that because they let you make it. Have enough respect for the people that are with you to never use that word like that, because it's very sensitive, man. It's a very sensitive word to use.
Red Dawg, when did you, while you were in prison,
Right.
when did you get comfortable? Like, this is where you're going to be at for a while.
I never got comfortable in prison.
You never got comfortable.
Let me explain something to you, man. I hit Ferguson like in 97, right? Ferguson unit. We all speak about Ferguson, so I got a few stories, right? I remember coming into Ferguson unit, and I remember the warden. When you first come to a prison unit, you got to go to classification, right? And that's held down there on the far end of the hallway in Ferguson. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. You see the major, the warden, and the gang unit, the GI. When you come in, they go to asking you a lot of questions, and it's on your travel card already, right? But make a long story short, I got to Ferguson, and they were really making a joke out of me in the beginning, right? I looked at this warden, man, this white boy, big old hat on his head, and a major. They looking at me. Oh, you a white? They says you're here. You're a blood. Well, you know, people, I'm a Paru, but understand we're under the same umbrella. But let's get going with this. He says, I'm gonna tell you something, son. You're going down here to close custody. You ain't gonna make it. I sit there, right? I'm sitting on the other side of that table. I look up at him and I say, with all due respect, sir, I'm definitely gonna make it. He said, oh, you a cocky one, huh? I said, no, sir. I'm solid to the core. He said, I tell you what, you're coming into my unit here. Looks like you've had some trouble in the past, and you're all the way out. You're a line 3, closed custody. I said, yes, sir, you're correct. I got railroaded on Clemens' unit because I was in a black organization. So what happened there, bro, is they tried to kill me. They wanted me to kill myself. They spit on me, pissed on me. They wouldn't feed me.
Who is they?
TDC guards. Man, TDC ain't nothing you want to play with, man, especially on them old redneck, rough-ass units. So after they pressured me, I lived. I wasn't going to let them get me. But they went ahead after 6 months and shipped me to Ferguson. I remember this. And like I say, when I got there, the wardens, man, how'd they drop you like that? You got railroaded. I got bamboozled. You don't understand what I'm saying? They'd handled me pretty rough.
So your treatment on Clemens before you got to Ferguson was solely because you were in a black organization?
Just because I'm not racist.
Because you're not racist.
See, the white boys, they in the penitentiary, all white boys ain't racist anyway. But still, the ones that are woods, they're still racist, okay? Don't let it fool you. They don't want to, they're not like, yeah, it's a difference, bro. Like, you got the Aryan Brotherhood, Aryan Circle, the White Knights, you got racist organizations, and then you got white boys that are called woods, right? And let's clarify something. My arms say East Wood, where I'm from, not Wood, okay? But either then and that's I just want to say that you got the woods that are in the penitentiary, and there's nothing wrong with being a wood, man. A wood's just a man trying to stay down for his people, right? That's what this is designed for. You got white boys that ain't a part of that organization, so they join the wood pile. Okay, make a long story short, I'm on closed custody. I ain't where I'm going. I ain't even got to worry about it. Ain't no woods there because we're going to the jungle. Understand what I mean when I say we're going to the jungle? Closed custody on Ferguson unit in the 90s. Oh, Lord, have mercy, have my soul. You had to get it in. So I already knew what I was going into, but like I told that warden, no, sir, I'm solid to my core. We get on down the road, they're walking me in. Now keep in mind, if you've been to prison, you know they have these socks and they got a red, and some of the socks they sell on commissary, they're white with a red strip in them. Well, what we used to do in the penitentiary is we would break them red strings out of them and put them together, right? And make a necklace. I know how to make a little necklace out of with a little cross on it, and I made me a little bracelet because here's the thing, I represented in TDC. Once I decided to tell everybody, and this was from the jump, I'm not a Wood, I'm not down with that. I am a blood. I am a Pyru from East Wood, Texas. Understand, that was real. That was real. So didn't nobody really, at that time, I'd already had a little name though. By the time I got to Ferguson, see, I started out on Telford. I built my own name, but when I got to Clemens, like I'm telling you, in Brazoria County, it was racist. It was bad racist. It was nothing like you think, man. When you get off the bus there, they're talking about how many plantations was in that state. I mean, in that little city. Like they had the number, and oh man, it was just insane. And by me being who I am, man, they did me bad, bro. They did me bad. They beat me. They threw razor blades in my cell begging me to cut my wrist.
Let me ask you this. On Telford, did they know what you were on when you got there, or did they have to find out because you weren't with the Aryan Brotherhoods or the Woods?
Well, see, here's the thing: when you go to prison again, you go to the transfer facility, which would send you to your unit, right? I started out on Gurney, and that's where I had to make my decision because, like I told you again, everybody told me, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was nervous as fuck. They told me when you go to prison, you can't do the things that you're doing. That's not gonna be acceptable. They're gonna kill you. Well, I got to the unit, and so many racist white boys were so racist. It was new to me. Again, remember this, when I went to prisons, when I was introduced to racism. Before prison, I didn't have no idea about it. This was Gurney unit in 1992. I think it was 1992 or 3, maybe 1993. But again, I was introduced to racism. So when I got to Gurney, I made it in my mind. I gave the Woods a chance. I did, bro. Like, because I was nervous. I was lost. I was already lost. I didn't know what to do because I'm white, and I know I'm white, and everybody's pushing, pressuring. But the thing is, I had to make a decision. And we've been through this in other videos. So at that point, I made my decision. I told Kiki and Pee Wee when we left Eastwood that I was gonna hold it down, and I went in my room, and I was my cell, and I was nervous. I gotta tell y'all the truth, man. I was 17 years young. I was nervous, man. We're in a big man. These dudes in there looking like out of magazines, like. And make a long story short, I knew what I had to do. I knew what my heart was. So by the time I got to Telford, from Telford, I was already known, very well known. I went to Clemens, and they tried to destroy me. But they set you up like that. Them guards down there, they play you like, bro. Anyway, by me not being racist, sent me to to Clemens unit, where it was very, very, very racist. From there, they wanted me to kill myself. They did everything in their power to X me out. They jumped on me. They beat me. They put major cases on me. And I would do like set my cell on fire. Like I had to get out of there, right? I'm crying for help. I remember the pill lady come over there one day. It was a black lady. And she was like, oh my God, son. She said, I feel so sorry for you. And she reached out for me. That woman reached out for me to get me off that unit, man, because they was beating on me. They was beating me, bro. The dungeon, I'll never forget it, the way they got it set up where you go down these stairs, it's cold down there. They'd call me out like I had to go to the pill line. And then the officers would just start beating on me. And I was scared to fight back to the officers because I didn't want to do the rest of my life down there. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know what to do. They would just stomp me, beat me, kick me, and then put me back in my cell and not feed me, all because I was not racist. But then, like I said, we're going to get on to the story where I was on Ferguson. So Ferguson, by the time I get there, they stripped me from everything. They stripped me from everything. They used to get me butt naked in a cell with nothing in there to eat, nothing in there to drink. And they wouldn't feed me. They wouldn't give me nothing to wrap my body in, bro. Not even a moo-moo. A moo was something they give you in prison to leave. But they would strip me naked and they would turn the fans on and blow air on me all night while I would just sit there shivering. And then they would walk by me and say, you white piece of shit. You ain't nothing but a lover. Understand what I'm trying to say? You ain't nothing but an in lover.
Right.
And they couldn't break me. They wasn't gonna break me. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die for how I felt. And that at that point really kind of turned me on my own people. Truth be told, I kind of went into my own protective. It was one of them moments, man, where you know, who do you really have? Who? I had nobody. It was me against all odds, me against the world. And they was throwing razor blades in there telling me, why don't you just do us all a favor and kill yourself? But guess what? They wasn't with no wussy, no. They was with a giant, a king. And I overcome all that. And it's a sad story. I really just don't really like talking about it too much, but it deserves to be told, understand? But anyway, back to what I say, when I got to Ferguson, it was the warden there and the major, they knew where I was going. And most white boys where I was going, I tell you what, the white boys, before they would go to Ferguson, before they would go to close custody, they would slam their hands in doors. They would hit their hands with shitter brushes, big old brushes, break their own hands. They would do everything in their power not to go to close custody, y'all. So this is a true story. So I go to close custody. They're walking me down the hallway, right? I got my handcuffs on. Close custody, they handcuff you everywhere you go. But I got some red on. You know, they ain't took my little necklace I had on that was red with cross on it. They ain't took my, you know, they know. And I also, back then, you could write on your commissary bag. This is before they started taking all that out. But we used to put all kind of graffiti on our commissary bag. So when I came into when I walked through the door, they already recognized and realized he's different. So they start talking back and forth. Siza fizzle, wiza bizoil, no riza, you know what I'm saying? So make a long story short, there's a white boy on the run, right? And I'm here, I'm listening. They don't know that the white boy's on it. So I get to my cell. Wait. Let's back this up a minute. I go sit down in the day room and I sit down on the bench. I mean on the table. It's tables, and Ferguson is set up like this. Picture this. You walk through these doors that they roll. They're steel doors like in them movies with bars. And when you go to the day room, as soon as you walk in the day room, you have a table, a bench, the pissers, and in front of this TV. That's how Ferguson is set up. Then they got all these windows that's been busted out. All the windows been busted out. They don't fix them in the winter neither. So when it's cold, it's cold. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. So I sat down. Now keep in mind, I'm still young, man. But I'm mentally, I'm a soldier. So I sat down, and when I do, oh my God, all hell broke loose. The doors are shaking. It felt like an earthquake in that bitch. I look around, I'm like, man, what the hell is going on? I'm confused. This was the first unit that I'd been on. All units are racist, but this is the first unit I've been on that was segregated. Like, bro, unbelievable. Like, this is segregated. Like, you got the Mexicans set here and only Mexicans set here. You got the brothers that set here and only brothers set here. And then you got this little bitty section for the white boys. I didn't know nothing about that. So here we go. We get it. And in that time, I'm in good shape, bro. I'm ready for battle. You hear me? They tried to kill me on that unit, but they didn't. I'm still ready. I'm motivated now. Because now I'm away from that. See, in prison, when the guards are trying to hurt you, that's one thing. Them inmates trying to hurt you, you can hurt back. You can hurt back. So, make a long story short again, when I get there, they walk me in, I sat in the wrong position, everybody goes crazy, but I still sit there. I don't know what the going on. It's like, what the hell is going on? I'm looking up at the bars shaking, get your ass up, hoe-ass white boy, ass white boy, ass. And I'm like, okay, well, it's going to be a bigger problem than I thought. So I get up. When they called me to my cell, I never forget, it was a Mexican named Joker. Well, this is a funny thing. See, right then and right there, it was a few dogs on that unit that actually knew me. One named Big Dog's brother. Anyway, he knew me, right? Hard Time. Man, I love you, Hard Time. And I'm sorry I damn near forgot your name. I got a lot going on in my mind. Hard Time. Deuce Deuce OPV, original Paru villain, like solid to the core. So, they've heard of me. Other people's already heard of me by this time. But I get in there with this Mexican, and the funny thing is I got the bottom bunk. In prison, they give you a bottom bunk pass or a top bunk, wherever you get. But, most time when you get in there and you got that top bunk, somebody done slid their bunk on the bottom, understand? And they won't, well, to make a long story short, Joker, you remember this clearly, Joker. I wasn't trying to hear that. I need my bottom bunk. So Joker, he's a nice sized little Mexican. And he was like, I got the bottom bunk. And I was like, wrong. It says right here, sir. And I got the bottom bunk. And I'm guessing at the time, he's going to take him, be funny, be sour, you understand? Be weak, because I have pale skin. He didn't know that I was already I was already knocking out. This was the true story. So, and I was very well with my hands. Again, I wasn't the best, so don't act like for you people that's saying that Dallas hit harder than Fort Worth hit hard, we got some hard hitters in Fort Worth too. And I do agree though, Dallas got some hard ass hitters in the TDC. There's a lot of names. But back to what I was saying. I gave Joker what he was looking for. So just understand, I got on my bunk and they started putting them mirrors, and all the people that been locked up, the mirror, they was putting them mirrors around that cell, and that white boy, they talking about it. They was talking about I had Joker in the fetal position, blood leaking out of everything. You understand what I'm saying? Like I put that on him, and that's where I started getting respect. Cause right then I'm like, damn, white boy's doing his thing. Well, when them doors roll about lunchtime, Joker had to go to the infirmary. Joker come back, and I figured Joker was gonna he was keeping with the business. But Joker understood off the TOP that it wasn't going to go like that. So it was really scary for me, though, to be honest with you, the people that don't know, because you have to lay down with that. You still have to go in there and close your eyes in that same cell with somebody that you just had a fight with. But make a long story short, we passed that. It was a blessing. I got past that. But we fall outside. And I never forget it, man. I never forget it. Nobody at that time, even hard time, didn't remember me or didn't know me personally. They was only hearing about me. They was sending kites through the penitentiary system about this white boy that could really fight, and this white boy that was genuine. This white boy that really had a heart, and he wasn't racist. That was already going through the system. So we go to the rec yard, and it's called a back door. For y'all people that been to prison, a back door is when the brothers and the Mexicans come together, because it's majority brothers and Mexicans. And one comes in, and then the next one comes in, and then the next one, and whoever you submit to, you're going to have to, I guess submit to them. I don't know. I guess, and be real about it. You're going to be theirs. You understand? Well, look, I ain't never belonged to nobody and never will, but Eastwood Paru.
Are you speaking on with the kids, the white boys being kids? Right.
The white boys in the penitentiary system, again, they were a little bit, not all of them by far, but they were the majority weaker, and they wasn't ready for what was happening, and it was just easier to give up a little money and be protected, right? But that's a whole nother story. So as the story goes on, I fall out there, and I'm getting it in. When I tell you I'm getting it in, I'm getting it in. Me and the first one, we rumbled, they sent a Mexican in there with me. Mexican didn't have nothing for me. And they realizing, damn, the white boy got something. So the first Mexican came in. By the time the brother got there, this is a true story. A lot of the brothers was out in the rec yard, and they were standing. Back in Ferguson, we used to stand in a line, right? And let you fight behind us. The pickets out there, the horseshoe is the rec yard is like a horseshoe. You've been on Ferguson, the rec yard is like a horseshoe. You got all these are windows, and you got your basketball court out here, and then you got the lady or the man sitting in the picket. So we'd make a line out there and get it in. That's a true story. So we was getting it in, right? Well, by the time the brother stepped up to me, the Mexicans was very angry because their main man went down hard. The brother sent a dude in on me, and he was I think he was a Mandingo warrior. I can't remember. I think it was a Mandingo warrior. But anyway, so me and him getting it in, we tussling. He got a little something from the shoulder. So again, I was getting. Listen, y'all. It wasn't just a a victory dance. Like I didn't just, no. Believe me, I got my ass handed to me. He was getting it on me. He was a big boy. See, that's another thing, Charleston. Let me get to this. It don't make how big you are, how small you are. You understand? When you're in prison, you got to fight. And if you don't fight, you got to be somebody's bitch. You understand? Now, back to this. So we're getting it in. And I remember, man, that before they sent that other Mexican, I heard this dude say, Red Dawg. And I looked. And when I looked over, I didn't know him. I didn't recognize him. But his name was Hard Time. He said, man, ain't you Red Dawg from Fort Worth, Texas? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, oh, hell no. Hold on. And right then and there, he told me, you get one, I got the next one. We'll handle it like that. And this is the truth, y'all. So now all of a sudden, his people, which was my people at the time, which was in the penitentiary system, Bloods, Pyrus, you know, we didn't have in Texas, I didn't know a lot of, rather than Bloods and Pyrus, okay? They were together. They all was together. So right then and there, I came over, he was explaining to him who I was, and right then he let him know, this is one of us, and it ain't gonna be none of that no more. We're finna get this right. You want him, you can get him, but we're gonna do this the right way, which is gonna be like this. We're gonna fall in these cells one-on-one. Whoever wants him can have him. Well, Mexicans really didn't want no more problems at that time because white boy had something for real. My hardest battles in prison was with the black fellas because they could fight good. They had them shoulders, man. They did. And as me coming up, you know, I was getting in the groove. Don't get it twisted, but them was my hardest fights, right? And anyway, so this is closed custody. Back then we used to go out one time a day. And normally when you come into the system in closed custody, if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. You got to do a year on closed custody before you can get up out of there, before you can go to medium custody and do a year before you can get back to population, which is where everybody's just walking around the day room doing what they do. The warden told me in that meeting, he said, Red, he said, you're cocky. He said, I don't think you're going to make it a day down there. You know why he thought that? Because all the white boys before me didn't make it. Well, about 4 or 5 weeks later into this, after all the fighting, and keep in mind, I'm still fighting every day. I'm still fighting. Mexicans don't give up. They don't give up. Let me tell you the truth about that. They don't give up. They didn't want to fight me in the beginning, but they found a reason on down the road. Like, it would just be dumb stuff. I done whooped Joker in the cell. I done whooped the man on the yard, and they didn't give up. They got heart, boy. The Mexicans got heart. They don't stop. So there was always a reason. You know what I'm saying? Keep that real. There was a reason they would fight me. Or then there'd be another brother fight me. And sometimes it would even be a blood that I just felt like was too disrespectful to be around me. He didn't want to accept, you know, telling me like I couldn't throw up Pyru in the hallway when I seen another one of my Pyru. And that was unacceptable to me. So we was getting it in like that as well. Like I said, when you're in prison, you got to do so much time somewhere. But that warden, he walked down there, and after about 3 or 4 weeks of battling daily, it finally stopped. And truth be told, the benches I'm telling you about are all black on Ferguson. I know there's somebody listening that was with me on Ferguson. I know this, and you know I'm telling the truth. There's no reason for me to make a lie up. I'm telling you facts. The warden walked down there one day and I'm sitting on the front row. And wow, it blew his mind. It blew his mind. Now on closed custody, you only got to come out for an hour a day, right? So we'll go to the day room or whatever and watch a little TV. And that warden called me over to them bars and he was like, hey man, he said, who are you? I said, what do you mean? He said, I underestimated you. I didn't think you was going to be able to pull a day off in here. And he said, and what really bothering me, that's really got my mind boggled, is how are you sitting on that bench? The brothers allowed me to sit on that bench. And this is a true story, a honest to God true story. I was the only white man that had ever sat on that bench in years. And so me and the warden chatted for a minute. He's like, man, okay. He even asked me something like, man, what could I do to get the rest of my unit? I want all my white boys. And I said, it's not going to happen. But anyway, so truth be told, 6 months later of that date, the warden himself was very impressed by me, walked in there, grabbed me, and took me to medium custody. I did the remainder of my time on medium custody because I never could make my way out of the darkness. You understand what I'm saying? Like it would always be a reason for me to lose everything and go back downhill again. I wasn't getting no visits. I didn't have nobody coming down there. I wasn't getting commissary. My family was, we're from the hood. They were doing all they could to survive. My dad, my grandfather, he told me, he's who raised me. He told me, man, it's just, ain't a lot I can do for you. I told you not to do that. And I fell into doing it. So, from the jump, like I said, I wasn't accepted, man. And it was terrible. But later on down the line, things changed for me, you understand? By keeping it real, by being me, the person that you see right now. Not ever faking and shaking, man. I don't come on here and tell you no lies. I come on here and tell you the truth. Because one thing about what we're gonna do, me and y'all and you and everybody listening, and we're gonna come together and we're gonna build this city again. We're gonna make this city powerful. And I'm shooting out, and I want you to know, we need for you youngsters to realistically respect the OG. The OG, whether he may be, I don't know, man, he may be your uncle. We're still out there, homie. And you know what, OGs that are listening, you need to stand firm with me, man, and help me with these youngsters, man. These youngsters are out of hand. They tripping, bro, and they're tripping. And we can help them. I know people don't want to, I've talked to a lot of people over the years, and they're like, man, I ain't getting in it, man. I done my time. No, bro, ain't no such thing as you done your time. You signed up for this a long time ago, and you don't want to go back to prison. I understand that, but we ain't got to go back to prison. We got to save them youngsters from going back to prison. We got to save them youngsters from killing each other. It may be your son that gets killed, and it may be mine. It could be anybody's. It could be me. It could be anybody. Let's unite this city. Let's become powerful. United we stand. Divided we're going to fall.
You are now tuned into the Bob Report.